The Chinese teach their people something very young. It's called the 100 Years of Shame. Now, you'll never hear your so-called scholars talk about this. Understand, Uncle D's the first one putting you on game. The Chinese people teach their children, their young people, something called the 100 Years of Shame. The 100 Years of Shame is the period in which they say, and they teach, and they believe this to their core, that China should be ashamed of itself, because in this 100 years, China worked to the benefit of other groups and against the benefit of the Chinese. And they teach their children that this should never, ever, ever, ever happen again. That at no point ever should China accept the ways of other people over their own. That no way should the Chinese people ever allow their nation to work better for other people, all while doing harm to their own citizens. This is why China has risen in the last 70 years the way it's risen. Peacefully, intact, culturally as solid as a nation has ever been in the history of the world. So the idea that somehow beating up black people in the street, executing people on camera, over-sentencing people, continuing to purport and produce racist ideology, continuing to have a system that puts profits for businesses over people, continuing this whole idea that white people are right and white people are the default, and that white supremacy and Western ideology is to be the main course meal for everybody on the planet. Continuing to promote this is only speeding up the decline of this nation. So I'm trying to figure out what your motive is. The Chinese are literally the most organized, evolved people. I mean, I don't know if we've ever seen anything like this in world history.
China has actually soared. It's meteoric. Former Czech President Václav Havel, I think, put it best. He said, all this has happened so fast, we haven't yet had time to be astonished. Okay. To remind myself how astonished I should be, I occasionally look out the window in my office in Cambridge at this bridge which goes across the Charles River between the Kennedy School and Harvard Business School. In 2012, the state of Massachusetts said they were going to renovate this bridge. It would take 2 years. In 2014, they said it wasn't finished. In 2015, they said it would take 1 more year. In 2015, they said it's not finished. We're not going to tell you when it's going to be finished. Finally, last year it was finished 3 times over budget. Now, compare this to a similar bridge that I drove across last month in Beijing. It's called the Shenyang Bridge. In 2015, the Chinese decided they wanted to renovate that bridge. It actually has twice as many lanes of traffic. How long did it take for them to complete the project? 2015. What do you bet? Take a guess. Take a look. The answer is 43 hours. Now, of course, that couldn't happen in New York, yes.
中华上下5000年，始于炎黄，咸于尧舜，开于夏，烈于商，礼于周，统于秦，强于汉，乱于晋，霸于隋，盛于唐，富于宋，难于元，刚于明，弱于清，和于民，兴于中，千年传承，延续至今。有人说，不要小看中国，它是沉睡的雄狮，是长眠的巨龙，待到它苏醒的时候，世界都要为之颤抖。而今亚洲雄狮已然觉醒，东方巨龙踏云腾飞，4大文明古国3个都已消失于岁月长河中，唯我中国经久不衰。生吾炎黄，育我华夏，待之有为，必报中华。愿我泱泱神州兴国安邦，盛世无疆。